All right, so here we are for our second little test podcast here. I say test because, as you can see at the top of the screen, I still have a watermark. So I'm still testing out software and figuring out exactly how we want to do this. But that aside, I'm Chris Holden, and this is Brian McConnell. Say hello, Brian.
Hello, team.
Team.
We're all part of a team here.
Yeah. We actually work together at Alphonic. We're both video game developers, so sometimes we talk about that stuff, but sometimes we just talk about whatever.
Whatever is probably going to be the topic of tonight.
Yeah, it's one of those nights. It's actually already 1:37 in the a.m.
Oh, wow.
So we work late. That's what we do, and that's why we called it the CrunchCast. Thought it'd be funny.
Yeah.
Sounded like a good name.
I like it.
Something people can relate to, or not.
Anything alliteration-wise is
alliteration.
good for me. Yeah.
That's why it sounds so good.
Yeah. The two L's and there's another. I don't know.
There's no L's in there.
Alliteration.
Oh, alliteration.
Yeah. That's how they teach you to remember it in elementary school or middle school if you're late or whatever.
So one thing I wanted to talk about at the beginning of this is just a little bit about the high quality technology that we're currently using to provide you with this fantastic service before you. Because if you're wondering, boy, that frame rate or that sure is grainier, that's not an HD cam. Who is these guys? Again, like a lot of this is like a test setup to see if we can make all this stuff work. So far, we've been pretty successful. What I have is the cameras. First of all, went to Office Depot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if it's Depot or Max, one or the other, but
Yeah.
Depot. Found the cheapest cameras they had, $16.99. Bought two of them. Hey, no worries if it doesn't work out. These are $16 cameras. The rest of the stuff, I went to Radio Shack to get a little sound mixer for a couple of microphones. The most expensive thing really spent on here is the microphone stands, I guess, because the microphone stands are really nice.
Oh, yeah.
Little extenders here. Maybe I should pick up the camera real quick and get a shot of that. And I'm going to mess up all the rest of the shots and never get my shot again. So let's see. What are we looking at here? Here it is. Yay.
How much were the stands?
They were actually like pretty cheap. I think it was like $20.
Oh, okay.
There's a little mixer. There's a little camera right there looking at Brian. There's his microphone there. It's wonderful. Oh, and I got a new pair of headphones. That was really the only other thing I had to buy. So I didn't really spend a lot of money at all. And
so for people out there that want to start a podcast of their own,
jeez,
go for it. It's
Why
fun.
not?
Yeah, it's fun if anything. So.
Yep. Now my camera's gonna be messed up forever. Oh, I'm never in video. I should actually look like this, like look at it and then figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah. So
We had some technical difficulties.
that's pretty much the tech that we got here. Pretty cheap, and if everything goes well, we'll upgrade. We'll move forward. It'll be great. I want to get like a better layout too. I want to get like a table,
Yeah.
kind of like a round table, so the cameras can look right at the person's face, and
Yeah.
everybody can look at each other.
Knights of the Round Table. No, that's a pretty good idea, and I think that'd be pretty interesting if we could put the monitors right in front of us too.
Yeah,
so
except
we could all
if I need
switch.
to turn to the computer to say look up some information.
Mhm.
I can do that a lot more easily, and I want to get an additional laptop for over here where Brian's sitting at the couch, so he also has access to
So
look
I
up
can
anything.
Check out some porn.
Yeah, just Google up Space Ghetto.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much the setup we got here. It's nice. I enjoy it. And hopefully we'll be doing this for many, many years.
So if you get 100 episodes and you go into syndication.
Yes. Maybe we'll get sponsored by some really nice sponsor.
Some really nice.
That my mom wouldn't approve of, but she'd be
Sure,
cool with it
yeah.
because...
Oh, and you can probably hear sirens right now. I've actually got the door, or not the door, the big sliding glass door open, just 'cause it's a really nice night out. It's keeping us cool, but if it tends to be a problem, like when a bunch of motorcycles go by, I might have to close it.
Yeah. Here in Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, we're in Denver.
Represent.
What? Yep, here in Denver.
At
So-
1:30 in the morning.
So yeah, there's gonna be some sirens. Speaking of being out in Denver late, I've recently got a new bike again because my old one's kind of rusted out, and started riding back and forth to work. I forgot to calculate how far it is just to help make the story better.
Yeah.
But it's a little over a few miles. It's 2 to 3 miles offhand.
Okay.
So it's a pretty nice little ride, and I get to ride up and down this bike path along Cherry Creek, which runs right through southern Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect little ride because you're off the main road. You're right there on that creek. It's really nice, cool air coming off of that. So tonight I got the bejesus scared out of me. First of all, I'm riding home, and I see an animal. There's an animal on the side of the path, and the path is really wide. It's wide enough that you could put like a golf cart or a car on it, but it's like a sidewalk, just for bikes. And I see an animal, and clearly I can tell that's a raccoon.
Yeah.
But there's more than one. And as I get closer, I'm confirmed. Okay, yeah, that's a raccoon. It's not only a raccoon; it's a mama raccoon with 2 baby raccoons.
Oh shit.
Both the baby raccoons are almost full-size raccoons.
Okay.
So these are bigger than a cat.
Yeah.
But not like a big dog or anything. Pretty small to medium-sized raccoons. I've seen bigger.
Yeah.
But and they're on the side of the path. And so what do animals do when they see you coming? They run right in the way. And normally if it was just a raccoon, I'd be like, whatever, I'll just speed by, you won't pay any attention. But since it was a mom, she was immediately, I'm like, oh, she's going to defend those babies. Things are going to get crazy. Things are going to get weird. She started like making herself big and making noises, and all of a sudden the 2 baby raccoons, which like I said are pretty much full-size raccoons anyway, start running down the path and across the path to line themselves up with me, who I'd already moved all the way to the other side to get out of their way.
Yeah.
They run like they're running along with my bike, and they're like hissing and snorting and making all these noises, and I'm like, I'm gonna get rabies tonight.
Yeah.
But luckily I just kind of whizzed right through them after a few seconds of them running right at my feet, and everything was okay. But for the whole almost the whole rest of the trip, I was completely out of breath. Because like I said, it scared me and my heart was racing. So I'm like, they're gonna bite the crap out of my leg.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
Raccoons are interesting animals. They could be extremely vicious in the wild, but you can actually tame them if you get them at a young enough age.
They have those little hands.
Yeah, yeah. My aunt actually had two pet raccoons. I wasn't there at that time because she was married into the family, but I saw pictures, and ever since I've wanted a pet raccoon.
Crazy lady.
Yeah.
But so I kept riding along, and by the time I got up here around the mall area, which is a nice, clean lawn, I was pleased to see more nature. But this time, instead of scary nature, it was just bunny rabbits.
Oh yeah.
Just little bunny rabbits all over the place. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Really cheered me up, made me feel good. So I keep riding along and see my last form of nature before finally arriving at my apartment here. And it was a guy pretty clearly getting fellatio from a woman right on the bike trail.
Oh no.
But they were around the corner of the trail where they would say, "Oh, there's no lights here. No one will come by at 12:30." But they're right on the bike trail, so yeah, somebody's gonna come by.
Yeah.
If they had just stepped off into the grass, you couldn't see anything.
Yeah, it's exciting to do that, I suppose. I think I've caught a few people doing all sorts of stuff, and yeah, it's pretty popular in places where you don't think you're gonna get caught at 1:30 in the morning. But
there's that mystique of getting caught. I think that's what people are after there.
Yeah. So that was definitely an interesting bike ride. And you've only been riding back and forth between your work and here.
Yeah, I got the bike last week.
Okay, yeah. So only a couple times. Dang.
which getting the bike in itself was slightly interesting, but kind of stupid story, because when I went to there's this pawn shop near where we work, and it's literally one of those like in and out crackhead pawn shops where these people are just like rolling in with anything they could pick up off the ground and try to sell to them so they can go get their fix. And it's the line of people out this door is like, Yeah, you see a lot of normal, cool people like, oh, I gotta sell this to move or whatever. You see them too, but for the most part, it's just this line of people out the door that are like, man,
Yeah.
gotta get that fix. So I was in there for a while, like checking out bikes, and I finally got up, and, talked to the guy, and he's like, yeah, let me get that for you. And gave him my license, and so that I won't run off of the bike. Took it for a test drive, came back, brought the bike back in, and the guy was in the back at the time, so I was just kind of waiting for a while, and then he comes back out and he gives me my ID, and he starts helping me, as in like checking me out. 'Cause like I said, I've been there a while already.
Yeah. Took a test drive and everything.
Yeah, did the full Monty, and it takes a long time to get in there because of that line of people. So anyway, there's some guy, and I start hearing people in the line like talking about this white boy, blah blah blah. And there's this one guy, he's like, kind of interrupts me like with the assistant manager there who I was talking to, so he would have straightened me out in the first place if I was messing around.
Yeah.
Or doesn't care. But so he's like, hey, just so you know, there's a line. And I kind of like, I don't really even pay him any attention because I know what I've been up to.
Because you're not aware of that long line that's going all the way out the door and down the street.
Sure, yeah. It's full of crackheads.
Yeah.
Probably meth heads. But anyway, so yeah, I'm like, I don't really pay him any attention because I know what I've been up to. I know what I've been doing. I know I did everything right.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like, just go back to my business.
Yeah.
And the manager looks at me and he's like, hey, I've been helping this guy for a while now.
Yeah, that's pretty cool that he stuck up for you.
Yeah, it was pretty cool of him. But then the guy, he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then he walks by when it's his turn to get help. He walks around to the lady and he's like, excuse me again, I'm sorry again, but kind of in a, I don't know, maybe a condescending tone. I don't know, maybe high. Maybe he was high.
Yeah.
Probably the latter. But so he just throws up this dirty duffel bag, like a backpack that looks like he just found it in a ditch somewhere on the ground to try to pawn it for cash. And the lady's just immediately like down the street, which is apparently just another pawn shop. And they just, like I said, this guy was getting all huffy and puffy about me taking his spot when he didn't even have a spot.
Yeah.
He didn't even have a spot in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. If you just go in there to sell some piece of crap duffel bag that you just found on the street, then yeah, there's no way you're gonna expect.
But he was upset. I could tell he was upset because he was not gonna get his fix.
Yeah.
Like he's like $2 short because of me.
$2. He would have been lucky enough to get that much for it. But pawn shops, I'm scared to go into pawn shops. I don't know if I've ever been into one.
Really?
Just
I could understand that when I was a kid. I was like, whoa, what's the pawn shop? You hear all these stories about the pawn shop.
Yeah.
They could be pretty cool places because they have all this. It's such a weird mix of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is a large variety of interesting stuff, and I want to go down there and see what I can find. One of the reasons why I'm nervous nowadays is because of
Stories like that.
Yeah, I don't know if I should say his name, but you know who I'm talking about. Always used to come into the studio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had some interesting stories to tell. He owns a pawn shop.
Yeah, it's a guy we used to know that owns another pawn shop. He would come in and tell us stories all the time. It's crazy.
Crazy stories.
He'd be interesting to get on here. But I don't know if I want him to know where I live.
Oh yeah, maybe we can take
Go mobile.
Go down to the pool area. No one was down there when we were down by your new pool area. I don't know.
Yeah, if we're gonna go that mobile, might as well just go somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be like recording right off a laptop or something. But yeah, no, he had some stories. He was a cool guy.
Yeah, definitely a cool guy. He gave me the nickname Crash because I drive a minivan, and one day I was parked at our studio, and he parked in our same parking lot, but he parked at a different angle, right behind where I usually parked, and I ended up having to call him one morning at around 10 a.m. to ask him to move his vehicle, and this is the type of guy that is very Italian. He has the whole interesting kind of intimidating.
He's got the
aspect.
look. He's a big guy with big sunglasses and chains and tattoos.
He's done some crazy
boisterous,
stuff.
but cool guy.
Yeah, he's
Super cool guy. I couldn't be nicer.
He's just a guy that
could be nicer.
Yeah.
He does have a bit of a mouth.
He's one of those guys that you do not want to mess with.
Yeah,
if you mess with this guy,
side,
something's going to happen to you or your family, or your family.
And
But so I was very nervous to call him and have him go out of his way, leave his pawn shop to come move his car for some idiot little 22-year-old to move his vehicle.
It doesn't make any sense. He knows us. And
yeah, but I was still extremely nervous
scared.
just because this guy is extremely intimidating.
He's a big guy.
Yeah. But yeah, so he came over. He was nice about it. He moved his vehicle, but I wanted to get out of there so quick that I just immediately backed up my van. And my van is a POS as it is, so I don't really care about the body damage on it. I got it with a whole bunch of body damage on it anyways. So I backed into the wall right in front of him, and I was like, I knew I hit, and I was like, oh man, this is embarrassing. But I wanted to get out of there so quick that I was like, fuck it. And I just kept going with it. And it kept scraping the back bumper against that little concrete guardrail there. And yeah, that was an embarrassing moment. But ever since, he would come in and be like, "Hey, Crash, what's up? How you doing, Crash? You running over any old ladies lately?"
Yeah. Every day.
Oh man.
Good sir. But yeah, if you ever worried about things like your possessions, it would, like, what's the most potential thing to be stolen from me? Just go take a tour of a pawn shop.
Yeah.
And all the stuff there say, oh, I have that, or I have one of these. Put that on lockdown because someone's going to snatch that off you.
And safes are pretty cheap. I mean, I'm sure you can get some little ones pretty cheap. And if you have a computer or anything, a really nice computer, hard drive space is extremely cheap nowadays too. So yeah, protect your stuff, people. It's worth having backups and safe places for everything.
I like the way you segued that into backing up your computer.
Oh yeah, well yeah, I guess it starts with protecting your property, not just physical, but digital.
I'm gonna break into your house. I'm gonna steal your computer and your external hard drive.
Well, I guess
that's valuable.
I guess the reason that I went into that segue was
you've been thinking about that lately.
I'm nervous about my computer getting stolen. Or I live in an apartment, so if like one of my neighbors starts a fire, there's nothing I can do to help.
Done.
It. But yeah, my computer's the most precious thing to me just because I have all of my stuff on there. I have a whole bunch of backups, but guess where my backups are? They're sitting right next to my computer. Yeah. So,
you don't have them at 5 different locations around the globe.
It's not like anything that I would lose would be too dreadful. But
well, yeah, I mean, as an artist, there's stuff that's like, well, I'd like to keep it, but if you have it like online, you can at least look at the pictures of it.
Yeah.
And and with art, you're always making something new anyway.
Yeah.
You didn't just like, nobody said, well, I'm just going to make one piece and just stare at that one and that's it. No, we have to make money.
Yeah.
We have to do stuff.
And
keep getting better.
Yeah. Most of that work on my computer is all practice stuff anyways. It was stuff that I did for college assignments and all that sorts of crazy stuff. It's all the old stuff that I want to work on eventually, but it's just prototype.
I lost a bunch of stuff recently with this one computer. I'm still not totally sure what happened, but a bunch of stuff got fried in it.
Oh man,
and
that makes.
I've recovered quite a bit, but like the main thing I had was this big level I was doing in Unreal. That like I have all the backups of that, but I have the backups of that from like a week or 2 before. That was when my last big backup was.
Mm-hmm.
So all my source files for that. Like last time I opened it up, the level was so many versions back that I was just like, ugh.
I hate that.
I'll get back to that eventually, but
I do that every once in a while where it's
one of those things that just kind of like demoralizes me for the project.
Yeah, I'll accidentally delete the most current version, or I'll save over the most current version with a later.
Well, the current version is one thing, but ooh.
Yeah, going back that far would be a nightmare.
Yeah, like I said, it's just a few weeks, but it was one of those times where I got so much done in a short amount of time. So I was actually before I was actually getting feedback on a build. Like I built the levels, sent it out to people, and every piece of feedback I was getting, I was putting it in.
Yeah.
So,
were you doing this on I just forgot the name of that website. What's the website that you and Cole use all the time?
Polycount?
Polycount, that's it. Yeah.
Well, it was posted on there, but
Yeah.
I also had it on like the Epic forums, NDDB,
Oh,
and stuff
yeah.
like that too.
I need to start hopping on those forums. I've been lazy about it. All right, Chris. I gotta go urinate.
Well, tell everybody about it,
Yeah.
because it's a good time.
I need to quit squirming in my chair all the time.
I'm squirming. So yeah, this little podcast, this thing is going pretty nicely. It's getting better. If you saw the last one, the camera setup's a little better. If anybody's got any suggestions for better screen capturing software, that would be great, because this Webcam Max program is pretty good, but as you can see, well, I'll get rid of that watermark, but the resolution it takes is a little lower. I'd like to improve upon that. For audio capture, I've been using Audacity, and it's free, and it works great, it works perfect. And I've been merging the two with Windows Movie Maker, which works just fine for now. But yeah, I plan to improve upon all of this, so we will see how that goes. And the little intro song, you might have heard that was actually a little piece I put together by just mixing a little beats and with the keyboard. So I'll probably change that up, and maybe we'll get a little intro logo here soon. Brian's been talking about doing something like that.
Oh yeah.
Because he's excited for those types of things.
If you guys have any ideas for logos that we should do, shoot them to us either through comment or email or Twitter. Or
Yeah, we're open to all kinds of ideas. So
oh yeah.
feel free.
Remember, we are game developers, and the name of this podcast, as of right now, is the CrunchCast.
That was we're gonna see if that sticks.
Yeah, I like it.
We'll We'll mix it up if it doesn't work out.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about me and having to pee all the time, but I'll be doing that a lot on this podcast.
Brian drinks a lot of water.
Yeah, I also had that protein shake before we came, and I just got done with my second
A
beer.
liquid meal, a lot of water, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
It all adds up.
Keep yourself.
You don't need
hydrated.
Sherlock Holmes here to figure this out. Perry Mason maybe might struggle, but that was way back during Cold War. So
it's kind of interesting with like a podcast. There's nothing that I can do to help. I can't speed up time to hurry and get the podcast over with so that I can go take a pee. But with like something like beer pong, for instance, I can make more cups. I don't know what it is when I have to pee during beer pong. I just sink them all and then game over and then go pee. But sorry. Okay.
That is a good story.
Yeah.
The best part about that story is it totally made me forget what I was thinking about.
Oh, sorry.
It reset my brain. I was like, nah. Straight
I'm probably going to do that often, too. So. But forgetting about what you were thinking about isn't the worst thing that could happen. I mean, it always leads to something new, in my opinion.
Oh, it could be worse.
Oh, yeah. Anyways.
I could say, as for like tinkering around in like Unreal with levels and stuff like that, I've been... Oh, there goes a big truck. It's just one of my favorite things, just to tinker around, like make a little game idea. There's so many that I've never been posted or really shown like many people. Like I make a lot of like test bed cases.
Mm-hmm.
Like where I'll just make a simple flat box area or throw in some walls or whatever is necessary for gameplay. A lot of times it's just a big flat area. Like one time I built like a crafting system in RPGs where you'd spawn those little those robots from Unreal. If you've used UDK at all, you know the default player is this robot model that they use. And if you spawn a bot, say for a deathmatch or CTF, it's the same little robot running around. So he's your standard AI before you replace the character. Anyway, I had those spawning like in RPG mobs.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot them, and when you killed them, it would you had a chance to get loot, and loot could be these items, and there was like 6 different items. Some were activators, and then others were recipe items, and the activators had different levels, and if you could mix them together to get different things. Like some will be like a health regeneration at 3 different levels, or a poison where if you shoot the guy, he's poisoned, and he's taking damage over time.
Yeah.
And just stuff like that. A lot of fun stuff.
Just knowing how to do that is extremely valuable, especially for an artist. So Yeah. If
Well, I
we
just
can-
like making games, so I'm just like, can I do this? And I'll just try it. And that's kind of my perspective on it. I just like to make different types of games. It's just fun.
Oh yeah.
It takes the bulk of time is lost in like full production art and bug testing and really filling every system out so everything looks good. But just
Yeah.
coming up with ideas, quick and easy, good times.
Yeah. I haven't messed around with Unreal yet, but I am extremely excited to work with it soon. Hopefully we'll be jumping on that soon, but I'm not sure if we're even allowed to talk about anything that we do at work.
Oh yeah.
So
Might as well just avoid it for the general purpose.
that's a good idea.
For the general audience.
Don't want to get fired.
But for those of you who don't know, we are working on a Nexus for the PS3, Xbox 360, and PC. Available sometime.
Yeah. Yep, that's the best way to put it.
Yeah. No hard dates, nothing like that yet. So
It's a decent game to run around and play, especially or even for someone who doesn't even like first
oh yeah,
person
well
shooters,
if anybody came to PAX and they had a chance to play it, the PAX West, the one in Seattle, we had it running. We had, was it 3, 6, was it 12 stations?
12,
running?
yeah, 12
There were
stations.
12 stations. We're doing 2 different servers of 3-on-3.
Yep.
So we had like 2 different maps or game modes going. It's pretty exciting. It
Oh,
ran
yeah.
great. It's pretty awesome.
That was a lot of fun. If you ever get the chance to go to PAX, go for it. That was an amazing gaming
Well,
convention.
PAX is
but-
fun. There's a lot of them that are fun.
Yeah, I haven't been to any other ones, so I can't speak for any of those. But I had a great time at PAX. So
Yeah, that was the PAX Prime is what they call that one, right? Because PAX, there's also PAX East,
yeah,
which they had in, I think it was Boston
yeah.
this last year.
I think, I'm not sure.
We didn't actually get to go to that one. Didn't somebody go? I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. What's GDC like and E3 and all those ones? I haven't been to any of those. It's kind of sad, but
E3 is more like a big show, like a big carnival.
okay.
But because you got your booth babes everywhere, so it's basically
Yes.
scantily clad chicks.
Yes.
Ridiculous marketing concepts that will be quickly forgotten in the mess of all these ridiculous marketing concepts. Like there'll be like tanks out front and stuff, something silly like something crazy going on, like giant banners that cover whole buildings, and you go inside and it's just like so many like flashing lights and loud sounds. You just guiding you through like. But it's pretty packed because it's consumer based too. And
Oh yeah.
like I said, there's all the booth babes, and there's always like a guy too. See, there's some guy who there works. He's just a regular guy, like a developer, or it's like some dude in a crazy outfit, or like a dude in like a full on Space Marine or orc outfit, or something crazy like that. It's basically your carnival director guy. Come see the sights. It's very much like that, but there's also a lot of these giant booths that are closed up just for secret meetings and media only. It's like, well, why did you even come?
Yeah.
But
That doesn't make any sense.
But E3, like I said, is more of that wild show. GDC is a bit more tamed because GDC is for professionals.
Yeah.
So
It's Game Developers Conference.
yeah, that one's more like I said, way more tame, way more clean, less. There is a lot of showy stuff, but it's not as much. A lot of booths just are closed booths, which makes sense because those and the closed booths will be in the business section
Mm-hmm.
versus the more open section for demoing, and then there's another section for there's a career fair section, which basically developers might have a booth there for people like students, professionals that are trying to get a job, and they're like running around with their portfolios, showing everybody.
And do both of those E3 and GDC, do they always take place in California, or does that just seem to like be the most popular spot?
They've moved E3 before, but I think they're kind of sticking with the same spot for the last few years out in
Okay.
LA.
Okay, I get it.
The first one I went to was in LA in 1999.
I think I saw that picture.
Yeah, I got some pictures. I had long hair and skinny as crap. I'm skinny now, but I was worse then. Yeah, it's good times. And they also have GDCs that aren't just like, because the GDC that's in San Francisco, they usually, I think they pretty much have always had them in that same area.
Okay.
But they also have them now in other places. It's expanded. Like they have a GDC in Europe. GDCE, I think they call it now.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to hear about that one. I'm not going to talk any more about that, but
it'd be cool to go. Why not?
Yeah,
that's what you're thinking about, right? Come
yeah,
on, we need to go.
Well, there's talk about it at work, and I don't know anything about it, but
well, yeah, one of the benefits I'd say to game development is a lot of times your companies you will have to go to these shows, and you can, depending on the size of your company or how they're running, whatever it is. Sometimes it's like, hey, we just need people to run a booth, or they're like, hey, we need somebody to give demos or whatever. And if you can take those opportunities, it is worth it.
It is worth it.
It is very worth it.
Even though it's only like 10% vacation.
Oh God, it's all work.
Yeah, it is all work.
It's all work, but the thing is the experience.
Yeah,
it's the experience that you're gaining, and it's the people that you're going to get to see and meet. Because really, the whole point of these conferences is like, well, yeah, you see this game and it looks neat, and you see this thing and it looks cool or whatever, but that none of that really matters till you actually have the game or the system comes out or whatever, and you're actually playing it and enjoy it. It's like, well, they can tell me to the end of the world how great it is, but until I'm actually playing it and enjoying how great it is, it doesn't really matter. Really, the highlight of all those shows is just the people. It's like you're running into people you know.
Oh, yeah.
Or running into people you've heard of, or running into people you want to meet, and then after the first few shows, you start seeing the same people over and over, and then it's like a camaraderie, and they're your best pals. And what the benefit of those is like parties,
yeah,
the after parties and stuff like that. That's where everybody really has the best time.
Oh yeah, easily. And one other thing that I really enjoy is the costumes at most of them.
There's some cool cosplay.
Yeah.
And the professional stuff is ridiculous.
Yeah. But California, that sounds like the place to be. I think I would love to live in California for a year to test it out, see what it's like. Well,
there's some nice parts and there's some worse parts.
Yeah. Comic-Con's in California this year. Going to that, I'm excited.
So, oh yeah, when is Comic-Con exactly?
It's around July 20th. I don't know the exact dates, but it's somewhere around that time.
Actually, there's no way there's no way you're listening to this and don't know what Comic-Con is. But go ahead and explain what Comic-Con is and what you're looking forward to when you go there, Brian.
I'm probably not the best person to explain what Comic-Con is, but
jeez.
Well, it's my first time.
But still, you got to be like, well. Yeah, somebody who's like, I don't even know what it is. Well, why are you going? I don't know. No one know what it is.
Yeah, well, no,
you got some ideas.
I'm definitely excited. Yeah, I do.
Here's a better idea. Give what you think it is, and then after you go, when we do a podcast, you go, it was nothing like that.
Sounds great. As far as I know, Comic-Con started out to be mainly just a convention for people who liked and collected comic books. And then as the years went by, it turned out to be more of a broader selection, such as not just comic books, but video games, movies.
All things nerd.
Yeah, pretty much anything that has to do with nerds, dorks, or geeks is located at Comic-Con, and it's probably one of the most popular conventions ever created.
And by the way, when Brian says nerds, dorks, or geeks, don't take that as a negative, because today he went to McDonald's with the sole purpose of buying a huge bag of those Pokemon. I don't know what the special McDonald's is doing now, but you can get this toy Pokemon that has a card, and he got 11 of 12 of a full set, and he had so many that he was giving away extras to, and it was pretty cool, because now I have a light up Pikachu. I'm pretty excited about that. But anyway, go ahead.
Go ahead with Comic-Con.
Your story.
Actually, I'll continue on with that. So I grew up in the generation where I was like right at that perfect age to enjoy Pokemon as a kid, and I loved it. It was one of the best. It's still one of the best-selling games that's ever made, and they're the best RPGs you can play. Everyone loves Pokemon that has tried it. I can guarantee that. But yeah, I was big into Pokemon as a kid. I collected the cards. I played the games. I got all the stupid little crazy objects, anything Pokemon you could get, pretty much. And so today I wanted to have a nostalgia trip, basically. So I had 2 McDonald's gift cards. One was for $15 and the other one was for however much, whatever. But I don't eat McDonald's. I don't eat any fast food. So I was like, one of my friends gave me one of his Pokemon cards that he got in a Happy Meal earlier that day. So I said, well, if they're doing a Pokemon thing, let's go. And so we went to we went to McDonald's, and I ended up wasting both of those gift cards on just toys. I literally went up to the desk and I was like, okay, I want 15 Pokemon toys.
Give me them Pokemon.
I want 15 Pokemon toys.
Really?
The guy looked
Seriously?
at me. The guy looked at me and he didn't speak English very well. So he just like...
Is it K?
He was just like... He just like looked at me and I was like, I'm serious. I looked him in the eyes and I was like, I'm serious. And he went...
Is this epic meal time?
But yeah, he went and picked out 15 Pokemon toys. What was really funny about it is right before that, since he didn't speak very good English, Dan or Redden asked him if he, how many different Pokemon toys they had, just so he could get a general idea of how easy it was going to be to collect all these toys. He ended up only showing 3, and they happened to be the 3 that he showed us happened to be the only 3 that we had out of a set of 8 or whatever. So as soon as I asked him to give me 15 toys, which I really just wanted the card that comes, there's a random card that comes in each one out of a set of 12.
And he got 11 of 12.
Yeah, I got 11 out of 12. I'm missing one. I'll go back to that later, but but yeah, after I told him that, he brought out pretty much every single different toy that he had. So he ended up lying to us, but I don't think he meant to. But
whatever.
The 11 of 12, I thought it would be pretty funny to actually post an ad on Craigslist for barter. So I ended up doing that. I was literally like, I have 11 of the 12 Pokemon cards from McDonald's, and if there's anyone out there that has the other one, if you'd like to trade, that'd be great. And immediately after I posted it, I felt like a pedophile.
Well, that is what they do.
And I drive a minivan, so that's...
Did you have a big bag of candy in?
Just in case.
Just in case. About being a nerd, I guess if talking about making video games and stuff wasn't enough. See, for me, Pokemon was kind of after my time. It came out, and I heard about how good it was, so I got the Game Boy, I guess the Color. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was the one before that, but either way, there was red and blue that came out. So I actually I bought both those games just to try them out to see what was the big deal, and I really loved them. Really fun games to play, and that whole the linking to trade, and like you could trade, or that was the only way you could get certain Pokemon and stuff. It was a lot of fun because you had to do it with your friends.
Was it the first set of games to do that?
Yeah, pretty much.
That
I can think of. You're saying it's the first game to ever let you trade Pokemon?
Yes. Well, yeah.
I mean, there were games that linked up before. I mean, for multiplayer.
Okay.
That was early on. They had multiplayer of like the very first Game Boy games. I think you could 2-player Tetris.
Oh, okay.
But it was like I can't even say what it was. I don't remember. I've got the Game Boy in there, but
pretty much the whole reason I got a Game Boy was for a Pokemon. So.
Yeah, that's why I upgraded my Game Boy.
Oh yeah. What do you got now?
But what do you mean now?
Well,
system-wise.
You said you upgraded your Game Boy. I don't know. I didn't know if you meant.
Well, like what I meant was like I had the Game Boy, but Pokemon I think was right around that time. There was that second Game Boy. It's like a Game Boy, not the Game Boy Pocket, the really small one, but there was an upgraded one before the Color. Or maybe I just got the Color, and that's what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Either way, I had like all the Game Boys for a certain point in time until they started releasing just a whole bunch of others, and I was like,
What's your most current Game Boy that you have right now? A DS?
I have the DS. I don't have the new one, not the 3DS.
Oh my gosh, it looks...
But yeah, I was checking it out at work the other day, and I was like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it does look pretty cool. It's definitely interesting, and I could see how...
It's probably something I'll get eventually.
Yeah, I could see how people are complaining about it hurting their eyes.
Yeah, but there's a slider on the
Headaches.
side, folks. You can just turn it right off. So it's really it's up
Oh,
to you.
okay. Oh, that's pretty cool. You can
That's
just turn it off.
useful.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. But yeah, I'll upgrade that. I'll upgrade to that.
Yeah,
When
they'll probably be like, I'll wait for a few more games to come out that I really, really want. Like, that's what I did. What I really, really want. What I really, really want. No, when I got the DS for the first time, I actually didn't get it because the DS came out and it was that bigger one.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't even buy it until it was the DS Lite. And it wasn't necessarily that I was waiting for that new DS Lite to come out. It was that I was just kind of waiting for more games that I knew, hey, there's a whole bunch of games that I want to play, so it'll be perfect now.
Mm-hmm.
So I can buy it, and when I buy it, I can buy like 5 games on day one and be happy about every one of these games.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and it was like one of the Castlevanias. It was that new Super Mario Brothers. It was like that Princess Peach and Brain Age. And some other games too. There's a few other games. I got a stack of DS games. It's like tall, it's like a mountain. Because it's probably of the newer systems what I have the most games on.
Yeah. That's definitely the way to do it. I always wait until the price of the console drops and there is more games released.
I just like a nice library. What can I say?
I was wondering today, what was the PS3? What was the price on the PS3 when it first came out?
When it first came out, I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
I think
either,
it was something like $87,000.
Yeah. Nice. It was definitely up there.
I think there was just different units, and it was based on the size of the hard drive you got.
Okay.
Like it may have been as high as like a $499 and a $599, but I can't remember for sure. I just remember it being.
That was years ago.
Yeah, and I remember going, "Ooh, that's kind of expensive."
Yeah.
And there's no games on this thing.
I was weirded out that, because I pay attention to logos a lot, I was weirded out that they used the same font that Spider-Man used. Yeah, that just... I don't know why I brought that up.
No, I remember people making jokes of that.
Oh, okay. I guess Spider-Man was extremely popular at the time.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? It could have been chance.
Oh, yeah.
It could have been chance that they just happened to pick the exact same kind of font at the exact same time. I actually saw this, it's like a little mini documentary, I guess, about creativity. And they made a point about how they pointed out several inventions and several things over time, like since going way back, that were invented almost around the same time. And the point that they were making was a lot of it has to do with the technologies of the time and people innovating on those ideas, and someone saying, okay, this is out and I could do this with it, and more than one person coming up with that at the same time.
Yeah.
That's the points they were making. It's very common that people come up with the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear them, they talk about that a lot on Joe Rogan's podcast, because they're comedians. They always have comedians talking about how sometimes they come up with a joke and they know they came up with that joke and they figured it out, but then they find out that it was somebody else had done the bit before them, and they're just like, oh, I have to drop it now.
Yeah.
Because it seems like he's stealing. And it can happen where you can come up with the same thing, the same idea. I commonly refer to this like base ideas are really easy, like the idea that anybody could come up with.
It's kind of weird. I feel like that's happened to me a few times, and I remember one specific case that happened to my brother. He actually came up with a decent idea, and that idea had already been done. It was like this monitor thing in your shower, and you could adjust the temperature to a specific temperature, the water temperature in your shower, and that had been done.
Well, a lot of stuff is like, you can just be sitting around your house and be like, well, why isn't this here? And then you look into it, and there it is.
Yeah.
And it's something that you totally thought of, and someone already has that perfectly done.
Mm-hmm.
Now there is the chance that you did see it before, and it is subconsciously.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, a lot of that stuff is like, if you thought of it, somebody else might probably thought of it beforehand.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really all about the execution.
It's kind of sad. I'm also one of those people that strongly, it's kind of a weird belief, but I strongly believe in
Jesus,
in the idea of brainwaves, and I just, there's just like this weird energy that is shot out of your head every time. Well, all the time, constantly. It's because all thoughts are.
It's the hot air coming out of your mouth.
Well, all thoughts is just the firing of electrons. So
Pretty much.
yeah, it's just giving off energy, and I don't know. According to quantum
Electrical
mechanics,
chance.
yeah, according to quantum mechanics, we're all one anyways. So, but that's deep. We're deep now.
Maybe. You gotta be careful about stuff like that.
I know. I'm nervous.
No, but one of the things about people thinking up the same ideas, and when I say it's not necessarily the idea so much as the execution. One of the funniest things about game dev is when someone's like, "I have great ideas. I'm an idea man." Or the better one is, "I've got these ideas, but I can't tell you because then you'd steal them." It's like, well, that again, it's the execution. It doesn't really. If you thought of your idea, it's like, well, here's my idea. It's the future, and the government, the corrupt government, in the post-apocalypse, the aliens come down now, and you have to find these magic crystals to restore order and peace in the universe. But you're like you're a Marine with a gun, and it's a cover-based shooter. Yeah, you did. That's not really. It's not really your idea, you see. It's just
a recycled idea.
Yeah. That could be just stupid, or it could be the best game ever if you just made a fun game with that idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. Yeah. I mean, how many times have you seen a movie or a game that had a guy with an axe? I always called it Man with Axe. Well, you see that a lot, but sometimes it's really fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's terrible.
Yep. With games, it definitely seems to be more about the gameplay and the puzzles than it does to be anywhere close to the storyline. There's very few games that actually pull off a good story.
Oh, there's plenty of good storylines in game, but again, that's execution.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, oh, it's a corrupt government in the future after the fall of man, and robots have taken over. And it sounds stupid, but if it's done well, it's cool.
Yeah. Because
that's what people are looking for. People love stuff like. If you could write an awesome story about robots and dinosaurs, and a guy on a hoverboard, imagine how cool that would be.
As long as the execution's
as long as it's an awesome story. Oh, that's a stupid story, but if it's well done, then
yeah. I guess the reason why I was thinking that the gameplay is more important than the storyline.
Gameplay is usually more important.
And
because you got.
I shouldn't have said that most games don't have a good story. I don't know exactly what my wording was, but like a lot of games out there that have hit the popular audience, or that has been most popular to the general audience. The storyline is just completely crazy, or there's lack of a storyline.
Oh yeah, like storyline of a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Well, a really good storyline's tough to do anyway, especially in a real-time environment where you're supposed to at least have the sense of some control.
Mm-hmm. Having to write the script for all the different characters that you could talk to and the different situations that you'd have to be in when you talk to those characters. Oh man, that could get extremely hectic.
I remember there was a meeting that we had on during the development of Warhammer Online where they had brought in a specialist on the lore of Warhammer, and they were kind of introducing him. He was just in the crowd. He wasn't up in front of everybody or anything. He just kind of stood up and said, yeah, sat back down. But one of his duty was basically to review the over 1 million lines of dialogue and script.
Oh man!
From that game to make sure that all the lore was accurate.
Oh man!
It's like, man.
Yeah, that's an MMO for you.
That's a lot of work.
Oh yeah. That's why when someone comes up to me and says, "I want to do an RPG,"
well, RPG.
That's nothing.
That's fine.
Yeah, but I mean
the MMO guys.
Yeah, but I mean, a lone person doing an RPG would be extremely
RPGs
difficult.
I've got a lot of ideas for RPGs, but it's like I said, it's so time consuming to execute the basics and get it good.
Yeah.
I've got an idea for one that I'm still. I gotta do it, but I gotta. The time's gotta be right. I gotta get in the mood to make everything right, make it really sink my teeth into it.
Oh yeah.
probably jump into it soon. Why not?
Yeah, take your time.
But yeah, the funny one is when you see people say, "Oh, I'm just gonna make an MMO."
See, I've never heard that one. That's
It's-
why I
it's
went with the next most
really
ridiculous
popular,
one,
really
Dream
popular
RPG.
in the community, the game dev community, the mod community, or what have you. And people say, "I want to make an MMO," and it's well, that's cool, but you should really just if you say that, just go say, "Hey, just make an online RPG. Just make an RPG where people can co-op or fight each other. If you can
Yeah.
pull that off, then then you got somewhere to build." You can't. You can't really say you want to jump all the way into the deep end. You need to like prototype into it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like phase
start
after
small.
phase. Like if you wanted to make like a deathmatch MMO in UDK, well, you can't because it's UDK and it has a limitation of 64 players per server. But if you got an Unreal 3 engine license, you have source code and you can do that. And there actually is at least more than one developer ever doing MMOs in that engine, so it is very capable.
Oh, yeah.
Very plausible. But what a lot of people don't know, the real difficulty is server infrastructure
Yeah.
for an MMO. Now, if you're really thinking about not just 64 players, hundreds of players, or now let's say if you're the upper echelon, millions of players, but we'll just hover around saying 10 to 100,000 players to maintain servers to run with that many people.
Is expensive.
And if you're not running servers to do that many people, you're not running an MMO. You're just doing an online RPG.
Yeah. Very true.
And
Yeah. So
but yeah, the money. It's just the money. It's so expensive.
I know that's one of the big reasons why the porn industry was having troubles recently was because of just having to buy so much server space and
Oh, the infrastructure. Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, sorry.
No, it's fine. Lead right into
I
this
was going
pornography
into-
discussion.
I was going into porn again.
Whoa.
No, I don't know much about that, so I'm not gonna talk any further.
What,
'cause
MMO development?
I don't have my little
Or
laptop
computers?
here to
porn?
search
Which
on
one- what do you
Google
not know about?
for porn servers.
Oh, yeah. It could be true. Who knows? It makes sense.
Yeah,
I know they have more problems of just everything being free.
yeah, that's
And it's difficult to justify. The weird thing is there's always porn being filmed all the time. But how do you justify the necessity of more pornography? Like, as much as this out right now, it seems like you could, if someone got all that organized, you could search that forever and never see anything twice.
yeah.
But we keep making it, and that's cool.
I guess it's just got to be up to date. You don't want to jerk off to anything last year.
Whoa, watch the language.
Oh,
buddy.
yeah, sorry.
Last year? No, you got a point. I feel like if it's like watching some porn from the 70s or 80s where the styles were a little different, music was a little different. You got to keep it up to date. You got to keep it up with these nice fancy cameras. We're going
HD,
HD,
3D,
stereoscopic vision, surround
sound.
Yeah, I want it all. I want it all. I want it now. I don't want it on the internet.
3D porn. I'm sure I've actually heard of that being done. So.
I guess that it's really prolific for spoofs.
Oh yeah.
Like whatever a big popular movie comes out, so you do the porn version of that. There's always a place for that.
Oh yeah.
Like Weird Al, there's always room for that. We need more parodies. In this
See,
world.
it's kind of sad because parodies have recently popped up because of the lack of originality, and but I mean, I guess that's original.
Not the right way of putting it.
I guess it's original.
That's
in some
possibly
way.
the worst way of putting it.
Really?
Yeah,
You disagree?
coming down on parodies like that.
Well, they're just recently gotten extremely big because it's an easy way of telling jokes, in my opinion. It's very easy to write a parody. It's more difficult to come up with an original story.
That's possible, but then you're kind of pushing away that whole concept we talked about earlier of execution.
Yeah.
To say that one thing is easy.
Oh, definitely. But I mean,
because any original comedy is still a parody of a life or the story that they're telling, whether it's a parody of an actual movie or a song or whatever. You're still parodying something. There's jokes still there.
Yeah. I guess the point I'm trying to make is you already have the base, and most of the times you already have the foundation. Most of the times, the foundation or the base is the most difficult thing to come up with, and I used to write a lot, just like write down all my jokes, and it was always, I don't know. Either way, I'm getting a little not off topic, but just
not focused.
Yeah, not focused.
Have you lost your focus, Brian?
Yeah, I suppose that's the best.
Well, that's cool. No, somebody told me a little while back. They said there needs to be more parody games, and I should just make parody games. And I told him, like, yeah, I can be the Weird Al Yankovic of parody of video games.
See, that would be pretty good.
That would be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
But again, I feel like, that'd be difficult, because the parody games, the first thing I thought was, well, if you're gonna parody a game, you can't just crap it out and it looks stupid. If you're parodying a game, you're probably gonna parody the top of the heap. Like, imagine how much work you would have to do to parody Mass Effect.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's so much work. but that could be a funny game.
I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I have played a few parody games, and I think the big joke that they were
Bonetown games.
Yeah. That's one of them. Google that, people. No, but yeah. Where was I? I was
You were talking about parody games.
No, I know. I forgot. Fuck, I forgot what I was going to say. But either way, go on. Sorry. Talk about some ideas that of parodies that you would like to do, that you think would be.
Oh, I don't really have any right now, but the point I was making was how difficult it would be, because of how. Again, you made that comment about, well, you've got the base already. Where again, that's why I disagree with you, is because, okay, yeah, say you wanted to make a parody of Mass Effect. Well, Mass Effect's the best game ever. To even make a parody of that, well, it's not the best game ever. It's one of the highest quality games out there. Mass Effect 2 is just a nice game, beautiful characters. To make a parody of that, the amount of work you would have to do to make a parody without it just being a crappy looking parody would be so high, because the bar was set by something as the best, and you say, well, now I have to make a parody of that, so you're gonna have to spend a lot of money. And I am not talking about those freaking movies that they come out with.
Scary movies.
Well, actually, a few of the scary movies were kind of funny.
The early ones,
but
were
the
great.
ones, not those other ones they made down the road, where it's always the parody of all the movies that have come out. Where it's like,
it's usually always the same guys, though.
Yeah, and it's the same group of guys. But what I hate about those is they're not parodies. Like, they didn't even watch the movies. The parodies are the parodies of the trailers.
The trailers, yeah.
They're such bad movies.
Oh, what I was thinking of earlier is a lot of the parody games that I played. The joke that they were relying upon most was the crappy, the way that they did it, and they did it in a crappy way as a joke, but they also did it to be lazy. So, like, they would make a really crappy game as a parody. And
what examples?
I can't. Like I said, I can't think of any off the top of my head. But they would just do.
It's no good for discussion.
Well,
you're just shooting in the dark. So, without to name a game that was kind of parody, but also just totally original, Conker's Bad Fur Day was probably.
Okay, that was an extremely good one.
Now, if I can think of a game that's a comedy game all the way, and not the sense like, yeah, Mario has jokes in it, but no, Mario is quality, like, full-on game. I don't really consider Mario like a comedy game. But Conker's is clearly a parody-style game.
Oh, yeah.
And what a funny game it was.
I guess I'm thinking more of strict parodies, where it's like literally they took that same exact idea, modified the name, like a couple letters out of the name, and then...
there were a lot of Doom mods like that.
Oh, yeah? Like, what could you... I don't know what you could name those.
Well, back in the old Doom days, there was... God, it seems like infinite amount of mods came out for... Because these were called WAD files. These were things that would, like... change the sounds to farts or there was so many of them, but there was like ones that changed the sound of like Simpsons quotes or whatever, like whatever TV show you could imagine. You could find a WAD file that would change all the sounds of the sounds from that.
Oh wow.
Or like people changing the monsters into silly things, or like there was like Porn Doom where they changed all the wall textures into just random pornography images. But Doom was just like with the old bulletin boards. This is before the internet, and then they would shovelware these things, and by that I mean people would just find all these files and just dump them on a disc and sell them in stores. And you could buy these discs that would just have literally hundreds of different mods for Doom, and all the different editors and.
That'd be fun to play with and mess around.
Oh, they're very difficult because of the old. You have to work with stuff in DOS. I don't even know how much any of that works anymore.
Oh geez, yeah. I don't even know how old I was when that was popular. But
yeah, you can still like get Doom on Steam and it runs and they've got it all, and you can find updates and get it to run on these Windows. But so hey, we're kind of getting around that zone.
yeah.
I'm gonna switch her down.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
All right.
I kind of had a bad night tonight, but
So
good.
Yeah, so if you liked what you heard tonight, you can follow us on Twitter at ChrisHoldenDev. You can follow Brian at Brian_McConnell.
And I need followers.
And Brian has like no followers. So he just signed up on Twitter. I actually just signed up on Twitter a few weeks ago, so I only have like I guess a month or so now, but so I only have a few followers, and Brian has basically none.
Yeah.
So yeah, check him out. He's pretty silly on there. If you like what you see, subscribe on the YouTube.
Give us some comments, views.
Comments, views, refresh, send it to all your pals,
Ideas.
tweet it, retweet it, ideas, comments, criticism, feedback, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a mispronunciation for my own fun times. But yeah, thanks for listening. Do.